example 1, step 1, I'm starting with the bread. So I'm looking at the x squared and the 28. Well, I know I'm going to split that up into x and x, because x squared would be 1x here and 1x here, right? In the front, because that's where the x squared was. And then I need factors of 28 that'll fill in here. That's what I'm going to do in step 2, okay? So you've already done step 1. That was really easy. So step 2 is green. I need factors of 28. Find the factors of the back number, so that's 28, right? That either add if it's positive or subtract if it's negative to make the middle. Well, let's see. This 28 right here is positive. So I want the factors of 28 that add to give me 11. Okay? What are 2 factors of 28? So 2 numbers that multiply together that you guys know would add to give us 11. Well, let's just talk about factors of 28. You can have 14 and 2. Does 14 plus 2, because we're adding, give us 11? No, that didn't work, okay? 4 and 7. If I do 4 times 7, I get 28. If I add 4 and 7, do we get 11? Oh, okay. And we added, and it's a positive 11. So you guys know that when we're adding, the sign should be the same. I've been teaching you that all year, right? It was all for this moment right here. When we add, the signs are the same, and right here they both need to be positive. So watch, I'm going to plop in a plus 4 and plop in that positive 7, and guess what, y'all? This is your answer. Prime, Farron, all y'all probably excited. Y'all like, okay, I can do this. Layla, I know she's excited too, all right? So look, to check this, because look, I just did step 2. I found the factors of the back number that add to get the middle. That was 4 and 7. And then step 3, I put them in with the right signs. So now to check this, I'm just going to check it real fast by doing box method, okay? So we're going to make sure we did it right by checking in our box, which you guys learned this method last week. X plus 4, x plus 7. Let's check real quick. X times x is x squared. 7 times x is 7x. 4 times x is 4x, and 7 times 4 is 28. Now check right here. 7 and 4, if I combine them, I do get 11. So this would be x squared plus 11x plus 28. We did it right. So this is your answer right here. All right, so if we were in class, y'all would be like, that's it? That's it. So let's try another one, all right? So example 2, step 1, start with the bread. It's a sandwich because it's got 3 pieces. Start with the bread. So I'm starting here and here. We know the y squared will get split up into y in the front. What makes the y squared? Y times y is y squared. Okay? So now step 2, find factors of the back number that add if it's positive or subtract if it's negative to make the middle. Well, let's look at our back number. It's a positive 50, which means I need factors of 50 that will add to give me negative 15. Okay? So let's start thinking of factors of 50. The first one that pops into my head, and it may not pop into y'all's, that's okay, it's 25 and 2. If I add 25 plus 2, am I going to get 15? No. Those don't work. So let's try, what about 10 and 5? If I add 10 and 5, because 10 times 5 makes 50, those are factors, right? So 10 plus 5 does give me 15. So the 10 and 5 we're definitely going to use, okay? But we have to be careful with this one with our signs. We're adding, so the sign should be the same, right? But I want to get what kind of 15? Negative. So if I want my signs the same, but I know both got to be negative. Well, guess what, y'all? That's your answer. Okay? So the hardest part about this is getting the signs right. That's where you guys will mess up. Y'all are usually really good with the numbers on this. So I'm going to check real quick using a box, and then we will move right along. Y minus 10, y minus 5. Y times y is y squared. Negative 5 times y is negative 5y. Negative 10 times y is negative 10y. And negative 10 times negative 5, that's a positive 50. Make sure you're multiplying in all 4 of the boxes. That's where a lot of y'all messed up last week. Okay, then we would combine these. They have the same sign, so we add. -5 and -10 does make -15. So we did that right too, y'all. Pretty easy, okay? All right, I'm gonna step it up a little bit because I feel like we're ready for it. So let's look at example 3. Same thing, step 1, we're starting with our bread. So c squared is just 1c times another c. Okay, easy enough. Step 2, I need factors of 24. Now look at this, y'all. We're not adding anymore. That's negative, which means we're subtracting to get 5. Okay, so let's think about it. Factors of 24 that will subtract to give me 5. Okay, well I know 12 and 2 are factors of 24, but if I do 12 minus 2, do I get 5? No, it doesn't work. Let's try 8 and 3. If I do 8 minus 3, do I get 5? Yes. Now, let's think about this. We know we're using 8 and 3. That's good. Now, when we're subtracting, what kind of signs do we have? Different. If the signs were different, that's when you subtract, right? Look at these. Different signs, okay? So, if we want a positive 5, which one should be positive? Good. The bigger one. If you want a positive, then the bigger one's got to be positive, which means the 3 should be negative. And guess what, y'all? There's your factors right there. You just factored. This term, or this binomial times this binomial, should equal that when we simplify it. Let's check it with a box. And then I don't think I'm going to check with a box anymore. You will have to do it on your homework. I'll be looking for it. And if you don't do it, you won't get complete credit, okay? So, c plus 8 and c minus 3. That would be c squared, I'm going to go kind of fast, negative 3c. 8 times c is 8c. And 8 times 3, negative 3, is negative 24. And then do y'all see these two c's on the diagonal? They have different signs, so we subtract 8 minus 3. And the 8 is bigger, so it's going to be a positive 5. That does work. Okay, so I've helped you with checking. You should be fine there. Let's do 3 more, and then you guys are done for today. You're done for the whole week. Not with your work. Some of y'all crazy children be watching the notes and then not turning anything in. Don't know. All right. Step 1, start with the bread. X squared breaks up. Y'all should know it by now. This should be like, okay, I got this. X and X, right? So now I need factors of 42 that, okay, hold up. This is where it gets tricky. That subtract, and this is where it gets even trickier. There's no number here. So what do y'all think we're subtracting to try to get? An understood 1. Very good. So I'm subtracting to get 1. Well, I know off the top of my head, and some of you are like, yeah, that's easy. Factors of 42. I know 7 times 6, right? Okay, well, watch this. If you do 7 minus 6, don't you get 1? Okay, so we use 7 and 6. Those work. Now, I'm subtracting. My sign should be different. I want a negative, which means my bigger one should be negative. Whatever you want, that's what the bigger one is. Which one's bigger, 7 or 6? 7 should be negative, which means the 6 is positive. Okay? And if you check that, you will get A. Miss Bull just did that in her head. Some of y'all are like, you can FOIL in your head? Yes, I can. All right, 2 more. You do need to keep doing these with me. It's great practice. These, you only get good at them the more you practice. Okay? And I should see work. Let's talk about this real fast because some of y'all going to turn this in with no work because you cheated or did something else. And you ain't going to get credit. And that's going to be that. Period. Okay? I should see this work. You see how I've got the circle and the arrow and the multiples? I should see some work. And you should be checking on the side before y'all get crazy. All right, I started with my bread. K squared is K and K. So now I need factors of 48 that subtract, so we're still subtracting, to give me 2. Okay, factors of 48. I know I can have 12 and 4, but 12 minus 4 does not give me 2, so that's not it. Okay, what about 8 and 6? If I do 8 times 6, I do get 48, right? And if I do 8 take away 6, do I get 2? Yes, so I'm going to use 8 and 6. All right, so from here, we're subtracting. The sign should be different. I want a positive 2, which means my bigger number is going to be positive. And then my smaller, they have to have different signs, so it will be negative. And again, if you check that with a box, that does work. Okay? All right, last one, and then you guys need to go try the homework. So x squared and 6, I'm starting with the bread. That would be x and x. Now I gotta find my meat. So factors of 6 that add to give me 5. What two numbers can I multiply that'll give me 6, but then when I add them together, they'll give me 5? I feel like if we were in class, Ethan would be blurting this out. 3 times 2 gives us 6, and if I add 3 plus 2, don't I get 5, right? So we know we're using 3 and 2. Now you guys need to pay attention to this. You got to be able to switch back and forth, okay? We're adding again. That back number is adding, so they should have the same signs. So if I want a negative 5 and they should have the same signs, then they both got to be negative. All right? And once again, you'll check that with the box and it should work out, okay? Do not turn this homework in without checking with the box. It's going to be wrong and you're getting a big fat 0, all right? Don't make me threaten you through this computer. All right, I feel like y'all should be okay on this. If not, though, you know how to find me, so hop on that Zoom, okay? Bye, y'all.